Good afternoon everyone, this is Bremster and today I'm coming to you with a puzzle called Whisparity by Riffclown. This was a puzzle that was originally published in the Polarizing Sudoku Puzzle Pack that was released on through my channel in May this year, 2022. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a link below to the Skunkworks puzzle packs list where you can go, and there's a whole heap of puzzle packs in there with a total of like over 300 Sudoku puzzles of various difficulties. But one of the packs that's available from there is Polarizing Sudoku, which is, I think it was 50 or 60 puzzles, all based around polarity. And this was one of the early scenic hikes. So it wasn't one of the introductory walks in the park, but it was one of the easiest of the mid-range difficulty puzzles in the set. Created by Riffclown, one of my favorite setters, and I have not solved this probably since back in maybe early May, late April, and I thought it would be good to grab one of those difficulties to sort of show you what we were doing with the pack. I've done a lot of parity puzzles since the pack, and I have found that parity has been a good thing to try and help me improve my solving. I also needed something I could grab quickly, so this was that. So yeah, grab that, look at the other packs there. There's a lot of free puzzles available on that list. So yeah, 300 puzzles that you can grab for free from many different setters of various different types. There's an Entropic Lines pack, a Lockout Line pack, there's March of the Quads. There's so much different stuff there. There's story packs, there's so many different puzzles of different types that you could literally lose yourself for several months in there, even if you're an experienced solver. So yeah, go have a look at that, and I imagine new packs are going to continue to be released. I know the pack that I promised months ago is still not even a twinkle in my eye. Life has been hitting me with a hammer recently, but yeah, we will get to that. Let's have a look at this puzzle. Whisparity by Riffclown. So, normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Digits in bordered squares must be even, and in bordered circles must be odd. You may ask why we changed the look of these, and the reason for that was twofold. With the grey squares, at least the default grey squares as they appeared, if you highlighted the cells, the highlighting was kind of hidden behind it and you didn't get good visibility, and with certain colours it didn't work, whereas with these bordered squares, whichever colour you chose, whether you chose blue for your even, the square was still visible behind the clue, and it worked when there were other clue types as well. So even if you choose green for this, you can still see the green behind it and the clue doesn't obscure it. So the square is still visible behind it all, and it just works for whenever you're doing, if you're doing multicolor highlighting or whatever you're doing, the visibility was maintained without it being blocking any other visibility. So we went with this after a lot of experimentation. So that's one of the rules. The other rule is along green whisper lines, adjacent digits must have a difference of at least 5. So the German whispers rule. So that's the rule of this puzzle. There's be a link to the puzzle below, as well as, of course, to the packs as I've described. Let's give this a shot. So where do I want to start in this? This has been months since I've solved it, so I'm calling this a blind solve because I have no idea what I'm in for. So the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is I'm going to mark even, and these are even, and I'm going to mark odd, and this is odd. Now, does that give me anything? Not obviously. Actually, it does. That right there is a 2. Because it is even, it can't be an 8, and if this was 4, the only digit 5 away from 4 is 9, and those would both be 9s, and if it was 6, the only digit 5 away from 6 is 1, and these would both be 1s. So this is 2, which means these are both high and they're odd. So those are 7, 9. That is a 7, 9 pair. Oh, of course. So once I get the high, low, I'm going to get a lot of information. And I've got to remember, this is odd even marking, not high low marking. That's going to be a trap for me. So for example, this now can only be 1 or 3 because it can't be 5 because it's on a whisper line, and it can't be 7 or 9. So these are low, so these have to be high. So they can't be 2, 4. Those are 6 and 8. Now they could... Well, this can't be 6, so this is 8. But this could still be either. This is kind of cool. There'll be simple ramifications that I am missing for sure. So what's the best way to break into this? This is 4, 6, or 8. If it's 4 or 6, these are both the same digit, being 1 or 9. There'll be something there that breaks this. This is 2, 6, or 8. 4 and 6s, I think, are going to be incredibly important because 4 and 6 can only go next to single digits. But these lines bend. Like this is 2, 4, or 6. But it's on the end of a line. This can't be 4 or 6. That is also a 2 because it's in the middle of a line in a box. So if this was a 4, these would both be 9. If this is a 6, these would both be 1. So this is a 2. So these are also a 7, 9 pair, giving me a 7, 9 pair in the row. This is a 4 or a 6, so this is a 1 or a 9. 2 can't be there. It could be there. No, 2 is in one of those two. This is now 1 or 3 because it can't be 5 and it can't be 7, 9. This is 1 or 3. So this is high, so it's 6 or 8. This is low, so it's 1 or 3. This is high, so it's not 4. This is 6 or 8. This is low, so it's 1 or 3. This is high, so it's 6 or 8. That's really cool. Once you get the high-low on these lines, they're all narrowed down to pairs. So you need to get... So actually, these are 7, 9. So this is low. So this is 2 or 4. So this is high. It's 9. This is low. So it's 4. So yeah, this has to be 9. So this is 2. This is not the 2. And that... Well, this is the 7. So this is the 9 because of the row. Very cool. So I need to find one of these being high or low, and I need to do the same in the bottom. Okay, so how do I do that? Is it Sudoku at the top? I need to put a 9 in one of the... Oh, actually, this is a 7, so this is a 9. 9 is in one of those two. 7 is right there, which is odd. Eight is not in there. 8, no, that's probably... Seven. So these are from 1, 3, 5, and 9. But they're not 5. These are from 1, 3, and 9. So one of these has to be low. They can't be 5 because they're on a whisper line. If I haven't explained that, the reason you can't put 5 on a whisper line, if you think about the 5 difference, 5 lower than 5 is 0 or lower, and 5 higher than 5 is 10 or higher, so it doesn't work. And the other thing that I probably haven't explained in this video is the reason why this has to alternate high-low. If you grab any low digit and make it 5 different, you must go over the 5 and jump to a high digit. And same if you start with a high digit and make it 5 different, you will always jump over the 5 as long as you're staying within the 1 to 9 numbers. So I'm going to put 2s and 4s in there. So one of these is low. If this is low, this is high. This is high, and it'd be a 6. So if this is low, this is a 6, and these would both be 1. If this is high, this is 2. So these are 2, 6, and 8, and this one's not 8. If this is 6, this is 1. This is 2, 4, or 8. Is it this column? Because this is 1, 3, or 5. Where does 6 go in this column? It goes in one of those. I don't think that's it. There'll be something incredibly obvious I'm missing. Because that's my shtick. So in here, I've got a, oh, that's an, oh no, that one of those two is an 8. So what's this quad? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 5, and 6. Okay. One of these has to be low. Could they both be low? If they're both low, these become 1, 3. These both become high. They become 6. This becomes 6. This becomes 8. This becomes 2. This becomes 8. This becomes 6 and 1. Not sure. Wow, what am I missing? Staring me in the face it will be. Six. Whichever one is of these is, does one of those have to be 1? No, they could both be 3 and that could be an 8. Though if that's a 3, that's a 1 and that's a 6. If that's a 1, hang on. If that's a 3, what happens if that's an 8, that's a 6, that's a 1 and that's a 3? It doesn't seem to do anything. What goes in here? I've got to put a 2 in there somewhere. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Oh, what is it? If this is 6, this is 1. So this becomes 6 and 1 because I couldn't put 6 there. This would become 8. This would become 1. All of that seems fine. Is there anything I can't put here? If this is 7, these, hang on, that, if this is 7, these have to be low and they have to be 2, 4, and that means this can't be a 7. Right. If this can't be 3 or 7, because if this is 7, these would have to be low. They'd be 2 and 4, and the 4 can't go next to the 7. If this is 3, these would have to be high. They'd have to be 6, 8. This is a 1, 9 pair. And the same might be true here, 2, 4, 6, or 8. But if this is, yeah, this can't be 4 or 6. This is 2 or 8. And if this is 2, oh, that would be, yeah, that allows this to be anything. And this can be 2, 6, or, sorry, 2, 4, or 6. These now have to be high because they can't be low, because if they were low, they'd both be 2s. This is the 8. This is a 6. This has to be high, so it's 8. The only low is 1. This is 1 or 3. That's the trick. This is 3 because it sees a 1, and this has to be low, so it's 1 or 3, and it's 1 because it sees a 3 in the box. There you go. This isn't a 1. That's very clever. Took me a long time to spot, though. This 6 makes this 2, which means this is high, so it's 7 or 9. This is low, so it's 2. This is high, so it's 7 or 9. This is low, so it's 2 or 4. This is high, so it's 9, which makes this 7. This is 4, so this is 9. And I've got that whisper line done. So both of those whisper lines are done now. Has anything broken this open? Not sure. But maybe I can do more in here, because this is the quad. 2, 5, 6, and 7. Well, there's no 7 in there. There's no 2 here, so this is a 5 or a 6. There's no 6, actually, there's no 6 in any of those. So this is a 6, which is even. These are 2, 5, 7. There is a 7 in there. That was a very cool trick that took me way too long to spot. So 2 is in one of those. Okay. That's an 8, which means it's high, which we already knew, but it makes this a 6, which makes both of those 1s. Doesn't resolve that. But it means that's not the 8, so this is the 8, which doesn't resolve that. Except the 1 in the row does. So now I've got most of the whisper lines resolved. There's no 3 in here. This is 1, 5, or 6, and it's 1 or 5 because it can't be 6. So this is 1, 2, or 5 for the column. This is not a 1 anymore. And it's not a 6 anymore. This is 3 or 5, which is odd. Oh, it's 3 because there's already a 5. Invisible given digit. 1 and 5 is odd. So I've got to put an 8 in one of those two. In fact, it has to go right there. So 8 is even. And these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's no 6 there. There's a 9 in one of those two, which I had. This column needs 2 digits. 1, 2, so it's 8 and 9. So that's the 9, which is odd. And this is the 8, which is even. I should start using keyboard shortcuts again. So this makes this a 6, which is even, which means this is not the 6. 6 is, of course, over here, which I could have got by looking at the box logic. This is not 6, so this is 6, which is even. I've got to put a 4 in one of those. So this is 1, 3, 4, 5. So this is 3, 4, 5, and this is actually 1, 3, 4, 5. That's not as helpful as I want. Got to put a 3 in here. No. 4. No. 5. Well, 4 is actually in one of those two. 5. No. 7 is in one of those two. What's this pair, actually? 1, 2, 3. Actually, that's a 3, 9. They're both odd. And I know the order. That's the 3 and that's the 9. Which puts 3 in one of those two. Actually, these have to be odd. Actually, this entire row here has to be odd because I've already got 4 evens in the row. So these are 1, 3, 5, 7. There's no 1 in those. There's no 3 here. There's no 7 here. So the whisper lines are basically all done now. I'm literally just doing odd-even Sudoku. Took me a long time to get here though. 4, 5, 9. 8 is in one of those two, and that 8 is eliminating it. That's an 8, which is even. Have I got all the 6s yet? No. 6 is in one of those two. 4 has to go right here, because 4 is here. Where does 4 go in this row? This is the only place for 4. So that is even. That's not 4 anymore. This is a 1, 3, 5, 7 quad. So what is this? 2 and 9. Which means this over here is a 5. There's no 5 here. This is a 2, 7. There's no 1, 3. This is the 5. This is the 3. That's the way to have done that. That would have been much more efficient. The 1, 7 makes this 5 and this 3. There's no 3 here. This is a 4, 7, and that can't be the 7. That's the 4. That's the 7. So that is odd. That is even. There you go. The 4 looks up making this 5, which is odd, and 4, which is even. The 5 comes out of there. This becomes a 4, 9 pair. And we know the order from the 4 where my mouse pointer was. So that's the 9, that's the 4. 4 is even, 9 is odd. That makes this 2 and 9. 9 is odd, 2 is even. That's got to have broken the back of this, right? What is up here? This is 1, 3, 5. All of those are, whoops, odd, including that one. This is odd because of the column. This is 1, 3, 5, 7, and it's not 1 or 5. That's a 3, 7. Two is now in one of those two. So this sees 2, 4, 6, and 8. That is odd. And it's not 7 or 9, so it's 1, 3, 5. Solving this badly. 1, 3, 5, 6. That's not 1. That's not 3. 2 in the column looks down, making that 7, which is odd. That is 2, which is even. I still need to put a 6 in this column. Can't put it in either of those. So those cells are both odd. So these are from 1, 5, and 7. That's not 1 or 5. That's the 7. Whoops, wrong. So that's a 1, 5 now. That 7 looks over, making this 3. Takes 3 out. Wow, I'm jumping into the wrong mode all the time. That's the 3, which looks down, making this a 1, 5. That 1, 5? No. Seven, 7. This has to be a 7 now. Where does 7 go in this row? It has to go in one of these cells. That 7 sees that, and I can't put 7 there because it's even. So this is 7, which is odd, which makes this 1 and 7 and 5, which means there's no 5 in here. this is not, oh, this is 1 because of the 3. So this is a 4, 5. There's no 1 here, so this is the 6 and the 3. So this becomes even and odd. The 6 looks up, meaning this is the 6, so that's even. This is going to be odd because it's not a 6. Oh, this 5 is odd, so that means that's not odd. This is the 1, this is the 2, which is even. This was the 5, this is the 1, this is the 5. Man, I'm not blaming the heat, but the temperature has really rocketed up here in Melbourne at the moment, and I am sweltering here. This is 4, which is even. So this is going to be odd, which is a 1 or a 5. It's a 5, and that's a 1. And that, I forgot to restart my timer, is the solution to Whisparity by Riffclown. How long did it take me? Probably about 20 minutes. So, yeah, a little bit longer than it should have, but that was a fun puzzle. And yeah, definitely a scenic hike. I definitely struggled more than I should have on it, but, you know, I haven't looked at this in a while. And I'll be perfectly honest, I've just got out of hospital, so, you know, not doing great. I'm going to try and ramp up with some other puzzles, and I'm actually going to take a break after this one and try and solve some other stuff to get my eye back in. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you're enjoying this. Go check out the Skunkworks puzzles. I hope you're enjoying the other stuff on the channel, and as always, good luck with your solving.